What's up, everybody? I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I'm Jacob with Very Good Knife Company. Good to see you again. This live stream is brought to you by Sweetman's Plumbing. If you are looking for the best plumbing service that ever did exist in Northeast Georgia area, give them a call, 770-538-0727. Get a sweet deal. So, guys, I've only got 4 knives that I've got to get finished up handle work on today's live, so it's going to be kind of short. This is all I've got time for, and that's pretty much all that I've got ready in this stage today. But I got to get them done, so we're just going to work on through them. I'm going to start by rough cutting them, flushing, and we'll do that with a brand new 60 grit ceramic on the high-speed grinder. What's up, Steven? How you doing, bud? And we're just going to run through them. I've got a couple of special ones today. They're just special orders. This is rare for me, curly maple over gray G10 liners. I do wood every now and then if somebody asks for it. I really try to avoid it, honestly, because I'm not a wood fan. But it's got to have liners. And then we've got a black micarta red G10 liners, Adventure Nitro V, stabilized wood. Yes, sir. It is stabilized curly maple, and it's got liners too. That way it doesn't shrink and swell so much. That's a must for wood. And then we've got 2 eagles, number 2 and number 3 for the eagles, a green one and a blue one, and that's all there is today. So it's just going to kind of be short, but I did say that I wanted to do a live stream just about every day this week. It may not actually happen because I've got some other things that I've got to start doing, which is fine by me, but I'm going to try and do a live stream every day. So let's get into this one. Turn the vacuum on. knives are just swapping out the vacuum lids. Grab our big wheel. $100 grit, 120 ceramic. Swap this around. Too slow. All right. Pop back over here right quick. I'm going to take you with me over here to the router, because I've got to take some thickness off of this handle. It's too thick. The thickness of the black is where the handle's supposed to be. I added the red liner, so I'm going to go take that amount of thickness off with the router. I'll show you how I do that. It's quite simple, actually. So the way that I radius all my handles is with this router here. And I've got a little bit of a mess because I just pulled out a couple of new router bits. My old ones are all worn out. So I've got right now a 1/4 inch round over bit. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and set it too deep. I'm going to set it too deep so it cuts up into the side right here. And once I've taken off all that extra, then we will be right at the thickness that I want to be. Now, why do I go through the trouble like this, you say? Well, here in just a second, I will show you. Because a lot of people will just take it to the grinder and grind it all off. You can do that, but getting it to an even thickness all the way around, and that's what I want, is even. The only way for me to do that just right is by making sure I have a set depth to grind to. So you can see there, I've cut it too deep. All right, so we only had to take about 20 thousandths off because that's the thickness of the liners. And now I've got about 20 thousandths worth of depth. And you can see all I have to do now is take that centerpiece down instead of the whole thing. And it's easier to do that than it is to take the entire handle down to a thinner thickness. All right, so I'm going to do that. Then it'll be caught up with the others. All right, so there's our refined thickness. Now it is the thickness that it needs to be. Of course, the radius is going to change as I start grinding all this off and fleshing up around the spine. So when I get done, I'll go ahead and rerouter it to the radius that it's supposed to be again. But all we've done here is just check up thickness. Bumping on up to 220. Grab me a new cup. All right, let's swap to a small wheel. Back to the 120. See, that's what we're getting right there. On these, we got to go all the way around. Top 220. bunch of new people in here, so let me just go over this one more time. What's up, everybody? If you're new in here, I'm Jacob with Very Good Knife Company. It's good to see you. I'm doing some handle fitting today, finishing up these 4 knives. I've got 2 eagles. This is designed by Gabriel of Last Huntsman Outdoors. Guys, if you're not subscribed to Last Huntsman Outdoors, please go do so. It's a great channel, and I think you'll enjoy it if you enjoy knife content. But this is Gabe's design. It's got the same handle as his last design, which was the Huntsman, and the blade of his second design, which is the Hawk, and a small EDC sized sack style blade. This is just a massive scale version of that, named the Eagle. I will have a drop of these coming on, let's see, I believe I told him April 25th. And goodbye, Brandon. Anyway. I'm going to go over here to the router right quick. We're going to cut the radius on these handles, because I am done with the 220 stage, which is the last stage before I do this step. Yeah, I like troll whacking. This is a good troll whacker. Alright, so what I don't want to do is use it the way it is right now, because if you were here just a few minutes ago, you would have seen me actually take off material from this knife. So I've got to drop it back down, because we're going to mess up. I have done that. Raise it up and then forget to lower it down. That is no bueno. All right. That ought to be good right there. Let's test it. That's what we're doing here. You can see that it's just cutting this same radius right here, all the way around though. And that is about the depth that I want it. It looks about right. Could actually go just a smidge deeper. So I'm gonna ask for a little more out of it. That is all. Put the stop pins, keep it from moving around on me and chewing my finger up like it has done so many times. What's up, everybody? A lot of people jumping in. There's one side. That's it right there. Perfect. Also, you heard that didn't have much cut to it because it was close to the radius that it needed. It just needed a little bit of touch up in here for the most part. Now, I've got to swap the router bit again. I got to swap the router bit to a 3/16 round over. That's the size of this little curly maple wasp here. This is the messiest, second messiest machine in the shop. The bandsaw takes the cake. This one is a very, very close second because there's stuff everywhere. All right, so I'm just going from a 1/4 inch round over to a 3/16 round over. You see, different thickness, different radius. And I use a 1/4 inch round over for 1/4 inch micarta. That way it has a perfect radius all the way from spine to the sides. And I use a 3/16 for 3/16 material. This is not micarta, this is curly maple. It's got gray G10 liners to beef it up to 3/16. But we're gonna go ahead and cut the radius on this the way it is on the face of the handle. And the same way we just did those other three. Okie dokie. I knew it was lying to me. My elevator was lying to me. Okay. This one will cut pretty easy because it's wood, and that's what these router bits are made for, is wood. Of course, they do micarta quite well, and they'll last a good long time. What's up, Zach? How you doing, bud? I am just routering some handles here. I don't have a whole lot to do today, but I said all right. I said I wanted to do a live stream just about every day this week. I'm gonna try. See, that pretty much made no noise, no cutting noise at all. This stuff's pretty soft. Now what we have to do with this one is go ahead and hand sand it. And I'll go ahead and do that right now because I can't move on to the next steps until I've done that. So, oh my goodness, I gotta get the air hose. For sweeping again. Alright, grab my sandpaper. I need another roll of this because I keep taking it to that bench and then forgetting it over there. And then I bring it over here and forget it over here. So I just need another roll for the other bench, don't I? Now we'll go ahead and tape up the blade so I can clamp it here in the vise. Just like so. This way I don't get any scratches on the blade. Now, you're probably wondering why I don't have tape on it all the time. The biggest reason why I don't tape them up when I am shaping the handles is because the tape has a tendency to collect dust instead of keep it off. So sometimes when you take the tape off after doing the entire process, you'll see some scratches that weren't there before, which is bound to happen, but it is easier to prevent with the tape off than it is with the tape on. Because at least with the tape off, I know what's on the blade and I can see it. Woo-wee. It's going to be a pretty one. Now this one I'll finish out to 400, and then I'll give it a linseed oil treatment, a boiled linseed oil treatment, raw linseed oil actually. Just gonna stick the whole thing in linseed oil once it's done. That'll make it shine and bring out that pretty wood grain. As you can kind of see right now, this is curly maple burl. This is pretty nice. It's stabilized, but it's not dyed. It is not dyed. Just a nat wood. This stuff should really, really explode with brightness and pattern when I put some oil on it, which I'll do as soon as I get done with it in just a minute. I've got a little container that I'll take a whole knife like this and just stick it down in. And then I'll use a magnet to fish it back out. All right. You can see it's coming together pretty nice. Just needs a little bit more finish. I'm going to run some 220 over these shoulders, these corners, to make sure that you can't feel them. These guys right here, that's important to me especially. I don't want to feel any sharp edges or corners on anything. If there's anything on a knife that makes you uncomfortable, your chances of carrying it every day go way down. And if you don't carry it every day, then your chance of falling in love with it go way down. If you're not in love with it, then you might not ever buy another one from me, or talk about it, or even touch it again. So it's got to be right. All I'm doing is smoothing it out around those edges. Because the router, having routed the face of the handle, this is the face of the handle, and also routed all the edges as well, it leaves a super nice, crisp, clean joint right on the corner, but it's a little sharp. If you do like the Ninja Death Grip, as Gabe calls it, you'll feel it. He calls the Ninja Death Grip where you just grab it up and give it a big old squeeze. And if there's any hot spots, you'll know right away. All right, so let me step right here and grab some 400. Where'd you go? There it is. Now, this is not adhesive backed like my 220. I'm mainly looking to just get the radiuses with the 400 because we'll get the spine and the sides with the grinder. I didn't realize that I was out of frame there. We'll get the sides and the spine with the grinder, so I'm just looking to get the radiuses with that 400 and really make it shine on its own. That's the trick to wood, is to make it shine on its own. Another trick to wood is to finish it to like a 120 and then coat it with like a shellac or any other kind of self-leveling clear coating. That's the most common way to finish bar tops and all kinds of stuff like that. But for knives, I don't want a whole bunch of coating over it. If this wood is stabilized, it shouldn't need a coating. And what happens with a coating, if you everyday carry a knife, is the coating's going to wear off. It will wear off. I don't care what kind of coating you put on it. It will wear off if you everyday carry it. So I'd rather the knife just be finished the way it should properly be finished. 400 grit is plenty of finish. Any finer than that, we might start losing that tackiness that gives it just a little bit of grip. Then it just gets so smooth that if your hands are dry, you'll drop it, which we don't want. In which case, I make most all of my handles slightly heavier. I like my knives handle heavy because when you drop it, not if, when you drop it, it won't land right on the point. And I believe in that. So that is all for the hand sanding on this guy. You can see it is really popping. Looking real good. It's going to look real good when we get some oil on it. So we'll go ahead and take off the tape. I always use a razor blade. And I'll just cut the tape right down the edge of the knife. It's not going to hurt the finish at all, because this knife is not sharpened. We don't sharpen knives until they are done. Voila. Pretty sweet. So that's a rare one. I've done some other models in wood just by request. I will not run them in wood because wood is too unpredictable. It could look perfect on the outside. You get halfway through the knife or start taking off material and you'll find a void, a crack, something, and it will just ruin your entire mood. So, on top of that, wood does not have the kind of tensile strength that micarta does. In fact, the harder the wood, the more brittle it's just going to get. The only wood that I have ever found that is really super hard enough to keep it from chunking out as much is called lignum vitae, and it is as hard of a wood as you can find because it's it is the hardest wood in the world. Let me run over and grab my used 400. Come here. All right. Last step is our scotch knife, 400. And I do have a used one, so where'd it go? Nope, come here. Hey. All right. Little off there. Let's go ahead and take it down. All right, I did forget another step. Always seem to forget steps when I'm doing lives because I'm a little bit split, but it's a simple and quick one. I just forgot to cut little chamfers on the lanyard hole. If I don't cut the chamfers, then what'll happen is the lanyard hole edges right there will cut all your lanyards, so we can't have that. I'm just gonna grab the proper bit. It should be, okay, I'll get you later. 7/32. You guys aren't even seeing me. Here we go. I'm just gonna make sure that there's no epoxy down in the hole. And there was. So now, nothing will get hung up in there when you're trying to stick it in. That one had some junk in it too. All right. Turn off. Let's grab our carbide cutter here, our high-speed steel chamfer bit. I use this one for steel handle material. And this is just a simple pop on that side and a pop on that side. That's all it is. I like to do this before I finish with the 400 because the 400 will take off those little fuzzies on the edge. Just like that. So see, this one's got that little fuzzy right there. And the 400, the last stage, will get rid of that. All right, so let's go back over here. I believe that's the last back and forth, because there's only 4 knives and I've already made enough forgetting. Let's pull the 400 off, put our Scotch-Brite on. And I don't like to Scotch-Brite the actual radius, because that'll take away the grip that the router kind of provides a little bit of a fluff from that canvas material. If I take the Scotch-Brite to it, then it'll kind of take it away. I want that natural fluff. It gives a lot of texturing. So my switch is off. Nice and bright. What's up, Monty Deacon? Eye protection's not too big of an issue with these grinders because they don't fling a whole bunch of junk around. And on top of that, I have literally tried every pair of glasses, face mask, $250 mask shield combos. You can't see. So my biggest thing is making sure that I have these guards over the top that send the sparks down, or any kind of debris, down to the wheel, which will also send it down to the vacuum. So not too big of a deal. All right, so now I've got to run the 400 over the sides. We're going to do that with the big wheel. So we'll pull out the small wheel. Like that. All right. And this will be the last step for all of these. this will be the last step for all of these. What I'm going to do is go ahead and take the 400 over the sides. Make sure that those Corby screws are nice and shiny. Then we're going to go around the spine all the way out to the tip. And then I will cut the corners down just slightly, make them not sharp. And we'll do the same step with the router, my goodness. We'll do the same step with the Scotch-Brite, and then all that's left is to actually shine up the bevels and sharpen these. Like that. forget one little step on these eagles here. And it was just to finish that little sharpening choil. I keep forgetting to do it, but I'm gonna order myself a little small wheel to fit that so I don't have to do it this way. Show you what I'm talking about in a second. Ooh, it's dusty. So I'm just gonna finish them to a 220. This thing right here, that's all we're gonna finish up because it's still rough. I'm gonna run my belt edge way out. That way my contact is really soft. What happened? I missed the comment. I am tired, bud. Good spot. There we go, nice and clean now in there. Gotta grab me a drink right quick. I feel like everything is poison nowadays, but these are pretty good. Vitamin water, zero sugar, squeezed lemonade flavor. They're pretty good. All right, so all that's left, I'm gonna run the 400 over those Corby screws on those eagles right quick again. Because I just put them on the platen and you can see a couple little micro scratches already. Moving it around. No biggie. One, two. That's all she needs. Brighten them right back up. There we go. Nice and clean. Once again. Come here. Okie dokie. Scotch Brite, last process. Ah, there's a finished handle. That guy's finished. Just needs to be cleaned and oiled. Sharpened, of course. So the final step for all of them, turn that vacuum off so you can hear me. The final step for all of them is going to be Scotch-Brite on the bevels. And the wasp got finished. Those flat grinds did not, because I've got a contact wheel on, not a platen. So I'm going to swap the platen out for the no-rest platen, because this belt's too thick to go on this one. There's not enough gap in here. But all I'm going to do is shine the bevels up right quick. Where'd you go? There it is. All right. Let's shine the bevels up right quick, and then we'll sharpen these 4 knives. And then, well, it's 4 o'clock now, so I'm gonna have to take off once I get done sharpening. So you can see this guy got a little bit of glue on the blade. Not a big deal, because the Scotch-Brite will take them from looking like this to this. See that? I don't need to worry about tape and all that good stuff. I can just finish the blade when it's done. Woo, doggy. Gabe, look at that, man. That blue's cool. There's before, pretty finished, but it's just dirty. And that's after, and everything. See how much brighter it is and shinier? Pretty sweet. Got one more. Edge. That guy's nice and bright and shiny now. Let's sharpen them. And then you guys can see that.